or the person who made the news article, di ba? Kasi parang maging double hearsay na tuloy yung sitwasyon ngayon, di ba? Comment with your presentation, Senator Trillanes, no? Because while you were making the presentation, kanina ko pa gusto ma-interrupt sana kasi most of your the information that you gave were actually available already in open sources, no? Like newspaper clippings and the affidavits of persons. And in fact, it appears nga na parang you were just making a summary of everything that you found from newspaper articles to the affidavits of other resource persons. Tama po ba?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
And the difficulty kasi in asking you questions about it is that because your statements are going to be based on either an article or the affidavit of another person. And the rule supposedly is that it's best to ask the person who executed the affidavit or the person who made the news article, di ba? Kasi parang maging double hearsay na tuloy yung sitwasyon ngayon, di ba?
Yes, Mr.
And
Chairman.
I hope you understand why I'm saying this, because in the spirit of fair play din sana, it would give the other persons who have been named in the affidavit and in the news articles also the opportunity to confront the persons who actually made the affidavit.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Sa nakita nyo po, no, since hindi naman po tayo nasa court of law, the way I presented everything, ito yung resulta nung investigation, no? When I was still in the Senate, and nagkalap kami ng intelligence information, ayan, open sources, tapos insider information. Then that was very critical. Before namin nakausap si Las Cañas, all of us were susceptible in embracing or swallowing the false narrative of Duterte na talagang galit siya. And the way he delivers these things, very emphatic na talagang parang kapanipaniwala na galit talaga. But then, here's an insider guy who came up with all of this information. Talagang nag-iba yung paradigm. And ang difficulty namin at that time was how to communicate this new paradigm to the general public, because at that time talagang kontrolado nila yung buong communications apparatus, and yun po ang difficulty.
You're referring to Art Las Cañas.
Yes, opo.
Well, the issue I have with Art Las Cañas din kasi, kasi when he first appeared before the Senate ba yun?
Yes.
He was saying a different thing. In fact, he was defending then President Duterte. It was only a few months after where he recanted and made another statement about the involvement of then President Duterte.
Opo.
And every time kasi we present a witness na parang says something and then does another thing,
Yeah.
medyo kami din nang natatamaan dyan di ba? Kasi it's parang coming from a tainted source. That's why I hope you understand my sentiments po, because I always want to protect also the integrity of this committee. That's why I'm bringing these issues up, no? Kasi while I was listening to you kanina, it's either Art Las Cañas, Asierto, or the other newspaper articles ang basis ng ano. I was really hoping that you could have given us more concrete siguro evidence po on what actually to support the allegations made by Las Cañas.
Okay, I totally agree, no? Especially coming from lawyers, very strict yung discipline nila about witnesses recanting. But as ano po, no, as a non-lawyer, in my case, when I was still a cadet, I was the chairman of this honor committee. Talagang we do investigative work, and we profile the subjects, demeanor. So, na-acquire ito when I was in the Navy as an investigation officer. Nakikita mo you'll be able to know whether somebody is lying and somebody is telling the truth, no? Pwedeng matest po yan in so many ways, mabibet. Pero po yung ano ho, yung paglalay at the first instance, depende po sa circumstances. When they are fearful of their own lives, it is totally understandable. At pero dito po, ang nangyari sa kanya, talagang he risked everything eh. Kumbaga hindi ako makapaniwala nung unang sinabing babaliktad si Las Cañas because doon sa first appearance niya sa Senate, talagang matindi talaga, hardcore siya. Pero kaya binet muna namin. First few baka mapapatibong kami. Pero yun na eh. Talagang parang ayaw niya na. He doesn't want to be burdened by all of these people he killed. So yun na, he was out for redemption.
Thank you, sir. I just made that observation kasi I just want, of course, the Quadcom to be above the suspicion ba na we're just allowing statements like that to be coming out from resource persons. Now, with regards to Michael Yang po, when Acerto was making his allegations about Michael Yang, he said that the very first information he got about Michael Yang was about the Dumoy laboratory. And in that Dumoy laboratory, parang ang role lang ni Michael Yang at that time was supposedly securing the precursors.
Yes.
Pero meaning he's not really involved in the manufacturing of, but securing resources that are needed to manufacture these things. Parang negosyante lang na may pinagkakakitaan. Tama po ba? Was that confirmed by your research po?
If you will only take the information from Colonel Acerto, then that's the conclusion that you'll get. But in our case, nakuha na namin yung initially yung bank documents, Mr. Chairman, nandoon na yung Sami Uy. Nung lumabas yun, hinahanap namin ano kaya itong pumapasok na pera na ito from government coffers or illegal mining activities, kung ano-ano. But eventually, nung si Las Cañas pumasok, and we got him around January of 2017 a few months before the appearance of Colonel Acerto. So by then, nakita na namin from the new paradigm itong mga information na to. Kaya nag-fit ho siya dun sa buong narrative.
So Michael Yang and Alan Lim and sino po yung isa na
Si Charlie Tan, Sami Uy.
Charlie Tan,
Ayun
Sami
po,
Uy. Now, si Alan Lim naman, ang relations niya with Michael Yang, where did it start ba? Saan nagsimula yung connections nila?
Apparently, since hindi alam ni Las Cañas, si Alan Lim vaguely pumupunta lang daw a few times sa Davao. So kumuha kami ng other sources of information from the whether domestic law enforcers or foreign law enforcers. Itong si Alan Lim, apparently mas senior siya kay Michael Yang at that time. Parang junior itong si Michael Yang. Mas senior pa yung kanyang kapatid na si Tony Yang. May sila meron silang seniority dun sa kanilang triad. So Peter Lim is also a big player. So sa Visayas, itong si Peter Lim, si Alan Lim doon naman sa Luzon. That's the picture we got from the people we talked to. Tapos pero si Michael Yang naka-jackpot siya kasi yung connection niya with Duterte nag-pay off when he became president, kaya na-elevate siya, na fast track yung kanyang promotion do sa kanyang organization. Ganun po 'yun.
Now, if you're saying na Michael Yang was using his siguro closeness with the former president to further his interest, why would he be content with just being economic advisor? Why not ask for a different position which would give him siguro more access to whatever he's doing, di ba? But that's a question that most people would say. Di ba kung involved siya, bakit economic advisor lang ginawa? Wala naman niyang benefit to his business.
ito po yung benefit nun. Unang-una, he cannot be given a regular cabinet position because he is a Chinese national. No? So, yan yon. Yung economic advisor is just a title to project to the whole bureaucracy na ano ito, malakas itong tao na ito. That's going to afford him the protection that that he needs, no? Yung connection do sa network kasi binabout siya. And yung pinag-uusapan kung paano nag-pay off yung kanyang closeness, dun sa family issue, yun po, di ba, lumabas. Kahit nasa labas siya, ang dami niya nakuhang kontrata because of that connection.
Now, you also testified earlier na Sammy Uy, no, was the one who introduced Michael Yang to the president. Is that correct?
Yes, Mr. President.
Now, Sammy Uy is known to be close to the president even when he was still mayor pa.
Yes.
But for not about ako, I know that it wasn't about na ang association niya with the Dutertes. Paano naging biglang all of a sudden naging to na angle na kung isipin natin it should have started way before kung yun man ang original intention ni Sammy Uy, di ba? Kasi he was already close to the president when the president was still mayor of Davao
Yes, and it did start way before. According dun sa interview ni Las Cañas, nag-start po silang tatlo mag-engage kay Duterte noong 2001. At major campaign contributor sila noong una. Tapos, ito na nga, sabi ko nga, yung pag-profile kasi kay Las Cañas as an insider, as an inside man, it's either you will believe everything or you don't believe anything. Di ba? So, kaya nung una naming binebet ito si Las Cañas, we were validating everything.